I'm extremely pleased to introduce our guest speakers for today, and I'm thankful to our institution, which provides us with opportunities to interact and learn from brilliant and experienced speakers from elite organizations. So, on behalf of College of Agri Business Management, I welcome our guest speakers for today, Mr. Kapil Dev, Chief Business Officer, NCDEX, and Mr. Neeraj Shukla, Assistant Vice President, NCDEX Institute of Commodity Markets and Research. It is indeed a matter of pride for all of us to know that Mr. Kapil Dev as well as Mr. Neeraj Shukla are alumni of this university. It is an evident fact that India is a world power in terms of agriculture, and exchanges like NCDEX have played a key role in recognizing and improving the sector. In establishing and maintaining an online futures market for crops, it has helped increase market transparency. It assists farmers in price discovery process, which previously was controlled by intermediaries or middlemen. Not only that, it has also played a key role in improving Indian agricultural practices. By standardizing the quality specifications, it has also raised the quality awareness. The market is increasingly being used to hedge and speculate, and this trend is likely to continue as India's sector also grows in terms of productivity and exports. Our guest speakers hold a keen interest and experience in the agri-commodities market and would be enlightening us with insights on the topic. So, without much ado, let's start the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Arpita, and good morning, everyone. Nice to connect again with the students. Am I audible, Arpita?
Yes, sir.
So thanks for inviting me. I think it's second session I'm having with CABM, and it's really encouraging, to get these kind of invitation and interact with the students and pass on some knowledge if we have. So we have, of course, Neeraj Shukla with us, who definitely will be covering a part of it, and mostly he's into research, closely working with the farmers. So he will speak on the importance of this market from farmers' perspective as well. I don't know whether this session is only a speaking session or can we have an interaction as well, Arpita?
So it's a speaking session only because the participants are not allowed to switch on their cameras or mic, I guess.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's a difficult task then. Okay, so, we all know Indian market and we all talk about Indian economy, and most of the time, it is being said and discussed that this is an agrarian economy and it has agri has a huge impact whatever happens in Indian economy. And I will start with one quote which this Dr. Swaminathan has said one point of time, that in this country, nothing can be right if agriculture is not right. And I think that is something which we always talk, not only agri or farmer income or farm income. Whatever happens in this country, whether it's automobile sector, whether it's insurance sector, whether it's FMCG sector, whether it's any other sector, banking sector is impacted by what happens in agriculture commodities market or in agriculture commodities as a whole. Somehow Indian economy and Indian agri has remained a very traditional in terms of marketing, right? So while like in last 10 years or 15 years, or maybe if you stretch it a little back, you can go back to green revolution when we started our production increasing, and now in 2015 onward, we can say that we are self-sufficient in the agriculture production, and we are able to feed the population of 1.3, 1.4 billion, and a lot of credit goes to farmers. Still, we lack a lot, in terms of various key agriculture aspects. You are on the marketing input side, production side. We are still, I would rather say 50%, 60% of global productivity. We are still very fragmented and we will remain fragmented in terms of land holding. We have remained a demand driven economy. right? So there are two types of agriculture economy when we talk about in the world. First is a demand driven, second is supply driven. When we say demand driven, mostly it talks about we produce what we are supposed to consume or nearby to that. So we are not a global supplier of any of the commodity. Our focus remains to feed the domestic population. But when we say supply driven, we produce, to supply to the global market. And if you put some example of supply driven economies, agriculture economy, Brazil, Canada, Australia, US. So those are the country who produce and they supply to the global market. And the demand driven economy buy that and they consume or they take it for the China, India are the demand driven economy, though we are not too much dependent except few commodities into the for import at present, but still we don't produce much that we can be a supply driven economy or we can be a global supplier of various commodities. Not because that we cannot produce or we are not having, but there are certain other reasons which we'll cover during the later part of the presentation. So Neeraj, do you have a presentation or you will cover it verbally?
Yes, I do. I have presentation.
Okay. So I will share my presentation, which is of few slides only, and then definitely we can cover up through the question and answer if something is left. Is it visible, Neeraj? Full slide?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so when we talk about agricultural commodities, as I said, we divide it into two things, right? First is the production, second is the marketing, right? And both are equally important. If we are not producing, we will not market. And if we are producing but not doing the right marketing, there will be impact. As I mentioned that we are a supply demand driven economy, it means we produce what we consume. But now in last 10 years, slowly and gradually, we are moving to a different territory. We are moving from a short supply economy to surplus economy in almost all the commodities. Thus, we are facing, a lot of challenge in terms of farm realization and in terms of our prices into the global market. Indian market is driven by the government policies. We have a lot of government interventions. We have control over by the government when they come and they decide MSP for certain crop. They buy all from the food security and farm income perspective. But that brings different kind of challenges to the market as well. So now when we are producing more and more and more and more, we are sitting on a surplus stock of various commodities, wheat, rice, and maybe a few more. But we are, and sugar, of course, and we are still unable to export it. Or I would say we are not in a fair position to export it because of some marketing related challenges. So we'll cover that maybe a bit in the presentation. So we know that, Agri is the backbone of Indian economy. The GVA of Indian economy in the $1 billion. It's almost 16, 17. Now it's increasing after a long time to 18, 20%. We are either first or second producer of a lot of more commodities. Our export is increasing. We are now aiming around 40 billion. We have achieved actually now we are targeting around $60 billion of export. We are the only economy, if you go to the top 5 economy of the world and we are at 5th, we are the only one who have that significant share of agri into the GDP. Right? If you start with the US, it's less than 1, then you go to Germany, less than 1, and you go to France, less than 1, and maybe only India and China who hold 3rd and 5th position are the only economies where agri share is more in a little higher. While China it's around 7%, India it's around 16-18%. But on the other side, the employment dependency on agri is huge. Around 65% we do say is dependent on agri and direct and indirect engagement. And that is something which makes agri even more important, as I mentioned earlier, that everything is dependent how the rural market and semi-urban market behaves, and they behaves according to what agriculture does. So entire economy somewhere revolves around agriculture despite only 16-17% contribution to it, and any bad thing into agri can change the way we look the Indian economy at all. So we now we talk about where it's leading to, right? Multiple times we have thought that we have to be a service economy and manufacturing economy if you want to grow, but it's a humongous task. We are 65% people is still, while contribution of agri into GDP has dropped down from 25% average to now around 15%, 16%, still population dependent on agriculture remains same. And our population is increasing, income growth is increasing, so we will need more food. That will definitely drive agriculture sector to the next level. Mechanization is something, and the new innovative product and farming and practices is something which is coming in and now increasing agri. The policy support is quite active at this point of time, and every aspect of agriculture is being considered while policy are being framed, whether it's production, seed supply, fertilizer subsidy, electricity, water, marketing, infrastructure. Even now, government is thinking of consolidation of the land through the FPO mechanism. So everything is being considered, every part is being considered, and I think that will definitely lead to a holistic growth of this market. But still, I would rather say the dependency on the government is huge and humongous, and that is something which need to be corrected over a period of time. So when we say if we produce and if we don't market, then there is a trouble. We cannot go, up to the plan what we have thought of. If we want farmer to grow more, we are also saying that we will pay you more through various commitment, whether it's doubling farmer income or MSP or anything. And if that doesn't matches, then there is a trouble what government is thinking when farmers are saying. And there are various reasons for that. For a fair agriculture marketing system need to be developed. Demand supply need to be considered while the pricing of agriculture commodities happens. But still, let me cover a few important points. I think all of you know, you must have read now the marketing course. Still 50% of Indian produce is being traded in the local market. We have a wholesale market, which we call mandi. Still, it's not a fair and transparent market, what is to be said. But that is something which controls 80% of the Indian production system. Cooperative market is something which government have been pushing since long. Now we have PACs and various other societies who are working under the cooperative marketing, but has not been remain a huge success. And the last one is the corporate market, where consolidation happens in a corporate structure, and even the marketing happens in that sense. And I think FPO is now coming in on that direction. But altogether, all this thing, if you even talk, the price is not something which is accepted to all yet, right? We are seeing a lot more protest and demand from the farmers are going on, and basically it all connects to the MSP. Now I come to an interesting point before I move to this, right? If we were producing 80 million of wheat against the demand of 90 million, definitely consumer need to pay more because we are short supply. But if we are producing 110 million ton of wheat against the demand of 90 million or maybe 100 million ton, we are short supply. We are oversupply. Can we still pay more in an oversupply situation? I think that is something we need to, look upon when we are talking about the prices of agriculture commodities. Somewhere demand supply has to remain on top, and then rest of the things while pricing of agriculture commodities need to be discussed. Somehow we are a little bit moving away from that. We are committing a price MSP with a noble intent that farm income should be double, but is it the right way? Right? Farmers will keep on growing more. We will keep on sitting on the large stock. We cannot sell into the international market despite having surplus because our prices are much, much higher than the international market. Because we are keeping our prices artificially high. So what is the solution? How these problems can be solved out? Definitely we want farmers to grow more and paid more. but we want consumer to pay less or maybe moderately, which is linked to inflation, not too high prices. And now these two things have become very challenging as far as agriculture market is concerned, and bring a risk to both farmers and uh, consumer. Can it be achieved by a regular agriculture market practices? Yes, there are mixed views. Somebody says government is declaring MSP and that should be mandated. Everyone should buy at MSP and everyone should pay MSP and each farmer should get MSP. So that's the one thing which covers farmers from the risk management, right? But if we talk about from the another side, or the consumer side, or the industry side, or the processor side, they do buy agriculture commodities with a purpose. First is, of course, to make money, and second, to ensure that supply is there throughout the year. Commodities are one seasonal in nature. They are produced once and consumed throughout the year, and there has to be someone who will hold that good and make sure that these goods are available around the year when there is demand. And that's how this agriculture supply chain works. But if we want farmers to get high and consumer to pay less, then this entire system is disrupted and there will be impact on the supply, there will be impact how prices are being discovered and traded, and there will be impact on decision making of both farmers and the traders. If farmer is growing a crop in expectation particular price, and if they don't get it, there will be resistance. And if consumers are buying some agriculture commodities in expectation of some price, or traders are buying, if they don't get it, there will be some disruption. And if both things doesn't work in a systematic manner, a lot more disruption comes. The government role in the supply chain and the agriculture market increases, and government becomes a huge stakeholder of this entire agriculture supply chain, which actually should not happen for a fair process of price discovery. It brings a lot of volatility to the market, and definitely it lead to lower income realization to the farmers and both the people who are involved into agriculture businesses, and we will discuss it how it happens. So if we talk about that, how these things happens, I will just put an example of maybe a wheat. So wheat MSP government says it's 1900 rupees. A farmer should get 1950 rupees actually if they are growing wheat. And farmers are producing wheat. It's the second largest crop we grow after rice. Almost 33 million hectare of land is covered under wheat with a 3.5 metric ton of productivity per hectare. We produce somewhere 100 and 110 million against the consumption of maybe 95 or 100. So we are a surplus country at this point of time. But we keep on, despite being surplus, we keep on increasing the MSP, of course, for a commitment to the farmers, and we keep on growing more. So against the strategic buffer norms of 13 million ton or 20 million ton or maximum 25 million ton, we are sitting on a stock of close to 50-55 million ton or maybe 60 million ton if my numbers are accurate. Now we are sitting on a surplus of 60 million ton which government has, and these commodities being seasonal in nature cannot be held, they have a shelf life. Now next crop will be sown, wheat, next month, and again a huge bumper crop because MSPs now further has been increased because farmers should get more and more price is expected. Government is already sitting on a 60 million ton of stock against the requirement of maybe around 35-40 million ton, 20 million extra. They have bought at a 1950 while international market is trading somewhere around 1500 rupees. Two things they have to do: either they have to dispose it off in the domestic market or they have to push for the export. They cannot dispose it to the domestic market at the lower price for the two reasons. First, prices will crash and farmers will be in the loss. Point number two, government is going to make a huge loss if prices goes down. So they have already bought a higher price. They are keeping these goods for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 10 months. there are certain laws on account of carry, on account of management of stock, on account of interest, shortage, spillage, labor, everything. So that the cost is much higher what they have bought, and after 6-8 months they need to sell at the discount because market is surplus. They have controlled the import prices by putting 40% import duty. So you cannot import because we know in international wheat is cheaper and it can be imported if government want MSP to be prevailed in the Indian market. So we are producing high, we are paying more, we are carrying large stock, still we cannot export, and despite we can get the same wheat at the discounted price in the international market, we cannot import. Right. So it's a tricky situation now. What is going to happen with these kind of stocks? And suppose next year again we have 100 million ton plus crop. Again they need to buy 45 million ton of wheat. It will be 100 million ton kind of stock with the government. Is it a fair risk management process in place? I don't think no. Is this a fair way to handling these kind of stocks? No, right? But balance need to be created for farmers and consumer, as I mentioned earlier. So what possibly could be the solution for this? And to get the solution, we have to understand the risk exactly. So let's talk about a farmer first. The farmer has sown a crop in expectation that government MSP is 2100 rupees in case of wheat. So he is expecting a price of 2100 rupees, and there are millions of farmers who are doing the same thing. There is a trader who is into agriculture trading or a processor who is doing wheat milling. He knows production is going to high. Government is also sitting on the larger stock. So our supply is much larger than what demand we have. So in that case, prices expected are remain to be low. Right? And there are some international traders who are saying, okay, international market is trading at 1500 rupees and we can get that wheat of maybe better quality at 1800 rupees. So that is the international market. They are planning in that way. Now we are the consumer, right? And we are thinking we are huge supply, we are surplus stock, government is unable to manage the stock. Next crop is coming huge, international market prices are quite low. So we should get wheat or wheat flour at much cheaper discount. Now government comes in picture and say we will protect farmers' income and they should get the MSP. So the farmers who are into government regime, who can connect to the government and who are part of MSP operations, they will definitely realize 2100 rupees. But rest of the farmers who don't have access to that, their market will be traded as per the demand supply dynamics, and they may get much lesser than what a government MSP is. And every year, if any one of you track the wheat prices, it happens. Still government keeps on trying. They buy millions of ton. Traders buy at the market price at whatever price they are comfortable with, basis demand and supply. Now one season is over, farmers have sold their goods. 80% of the farmers, 20% are still left with the good, expecting prices will go up. Traders have bought prices, wheat at a particular price, suppose like in this case 1800 or 1900. A processor has bought at 1800, 900 rupees, and government has bought at 2100 rupees. And supply chain continues. Everybody has their own expectation of prices. Now, once we, after 6 months, government realized we are on the huge stock after distribution, around 2 million ton of wheat into the PDS system. We are still left with 20 million ton extra. We can't hold it. Next crop is coming. We need to buy rice as well. We need to buy wheat as well. So we need to dispose of this wheat through OMSs. So the pressure on the government is to offload this wheat at whatever price. So that's the expectation of the government, that we need to get the stock down. Now the second stakeholder is the government, farmers who are still holding some wheat in expectation that if in the season we got the 2100 rupees, government bought it, it should go up. Agriculture commodities are seasonal in nature, prices should increase because supply keeps on decreasing towards end of the year. Then there are the trader who bought at maybe around 1800 rupees in the open market at the time of season. expecting that prices will move up. Government has bought at 2100 rupees. They should not sell below 2100 rupees as per the government policies. Now, where in the month of September or maybe October, government realizes no, we cannot uh, continue with these kind of stock. We have to sell it whatever price. So they automatically come to the market with the intent to sell huge quantity, and they say, okay, though our base price was somewhere around 2300 rupees, but because we are unable to offload it, we will sell it whatever price we want, whatever price market gives. And they start coming in with the various kind of auctions open under OMSS, open market sales scheme, and they keep on disposing of various goods. Because of that huge supply which comes from the government, all of a sudden prices started crashing, and it reached to a level where it actually should be basis demand and supply. So we see prices are crashing. Who is at loss? Of course, first is the government. Second is the farmer, who have lost, who were holding the goods in expectation of prices moving up, and now government is selling at the discount which is lower than MSP, so they are making loss. Now the next one is the trader, who were there, and processors who were holding that good at 1800 rupees. Now government is selling is maybe around 1700 rupees. Even at the 1800 rupees, they are in loss because they have paid the cost of carry for 6 months. So entire dynamics change and everybody is at a risk. And if that keeps on happening, next time trader will say, I will not buy because government intervened into the market and I made loss. And next year, 10 traders are out of the market, and that material which they used to buy is now surplus in the market, and prices may go down further because there is no buyer. And then government need to buy again to you know uh, give a support to the farmer, and that cycle continues year on year. And now we see only government is buying, rest of the people are just waiting when government will start selling. So entire marketing is different and creates risk. Now we have to think, and when we started these kind of operations, we were short supply, food security was not in place, prices were very, very volatile and high. But now after 10-15 years of doing all this exercise, or maybe more than that, now we are in a comfortable position that we need to move on from these conservative or traditional practices of protecting buyer and consumer to modern market driven practices, and that's what agriculture derivatives market offers. So what is derivatives market, right? It is just an agreement between two people where they do come, they go into an agreement on a regulated platform that I am buying this price commodity at a price. You are selling at this commodity at a price, and we both will stick to our commitment when finally that transaction happens. So we are locking a price for a commodity in advance just to cover up our risk, right? And the benefits we all know. It provides risk management against any volatile price movement, any adverse price movement. It is in the market. This is open market, transparent market. It happens on the online platform, and the cost is quite low because here you are just paying some margin and locking your prices. So these are some tool which has developed and evolved over a period of time. If you go to international market, these markets are 20, 30, 50, and in certain countries 100 years old. Very well developed market, and they drive prices, how the prices are going to be traded. What can happen in a situation like wheat, where this market can be used? Maybe Neeraj will cover in his presentation how farmers can be protected, their income can be protected, and how traders can be protected. But yes, I would like to mention that derivatives market have played a key role in all of the developed economy. If you go to US, the all price we talked about is the futures market whenever we are talking about the agriculture commodities market. If you go to the CPO prices, crude palm oil today, the only one price the entire world talks is the Malaysian prices, which is being traded on the Bursa Malaysia exchange. If you go to any other prices of any of the commodity which is available on the futures market, the only price we talk is the available price of that particular country futures market. So this is the important uh, thing. There are various kind of contracts which can happen: futures contract, option contract, forward contract, and swaps. And in Indian market, these three, futures, options, and forwards, are allowed and are being used by various value chain participants of commodities, starting from the farmers to end user and processors. What does it give this market, right? First is the price discovery. It is the open market where thousands of people are coming and trading for one particular price. Everybody has their own understanding of demand and supply, but all the understanding, all the analysis, all the research, all the expectations finally convert into the price point at one point of time. So the price discovery becomes very, very strong and transparent, because everyone, there is no one knows who is trading for what reason, but yes, there are people who are discovering the price without knowing each other. So all the fundamentals, all the factors which impacts prices are factored in, and then price discovery happens. Better risk management. So I can go to the physical market, I can go into the forward contract to someone. I can say, okay, I will buy your wheat at 2,500 rupees under contract farming agreement, which we say kind of forward contract. But if prices of wheat that time is 2,000 rupees, I may not buy. If prices of wheat that time 3,000 rupees, farmers may not sell. So these are the risks which exist. It doesn't happen every time, but yes, this is the risk which happens, because it's only an agreement. There is no financial risk management involved. If prices moves up, how we are going to handle that? If prices are going to go down, how we are going to handle that? But in the derivatives market, there is a process defined to do these kind of risk management. So everyone who is trading derivatives market are protected through that procedure. Operational efficiency, it's easy to trade. You need not to go to any of the market to buy wheat. By just one click, you can buy wheat or any other commodities you want. So it is transparent, it is easy to trade. You can buy huge quantity in a day, which most of the time you are unable to do in the spot market. And it's much more efficient because every piece of information is integrated into the price discovery, and any information which comes is first visible on the online marketplace in the futures market. So efficiency always remain quite good, because there is no information which has not been adjusted while making the price trading decisions. So this is the most efficient marketplace which happens. We have discussed it. This is the typical value chain of agriculture commodities, how it happens from farmers, it goes to aggregators, it goes to commission agent, then exporters, then it goes to mandi. If it goes to mandi, then it's traded by cooperatives, government agencies are buying, traders are buying, and the millers and processors are buying under various arrangements. And if you see the color of the circle which we have given there, these depicts and indicate what kind of risk these people carry in terms of price. So farmer is of course at the higher risk, because they grow a crop in expectation of certain prices, and most of the time it happens that those prices are not the same. It may high, it may low, most of the time it's low. So they always carry a price risk. Then we come to the aggregators. So they are only just aggregating the goods and they are supplying to someone else. So they are moderately exposed to the price risk. Commission agent, they just they just connect buyer and seller, so they don't carry the price risk. But apart from these two, rest all who are involved in agriculture trading are very well exposed to higher price risk. Exporter, I bought a commodities in certain price expectation. If price goes down and export market crashes, I'm at loss. Traders, they buy a price in expectation prices will move up. I'll keep it for 6 months, and government does something like we have discussed in case of wheat, prices may fall. So I am on a huge risk. Government agencies at huge risk, agriculture cooperatives are at huge risk. If they are getting the goods with them, they are carrying the goods with them. So everyone is carrying a huge risk. And if there is no risk management, this is not a sustainable market, or this market cannot grow beyond a certain point. What does this market does? Agriculture derivative ecosystem. So who participate in this market? As we know, all the people who are into agriculture value chain, who are exposed to price risk, they do come and trade. Then there are investors who do come and trade. There are few people who do trade, which we call proprietary trades, who are the single trader who do trade from the various price perspective or under various strategy. They all are coming and trading on exchange, and then exchange is providing them benefit of price discovery to hedgers. Infrastructural ecosystem. There is a defined infrastructure process. The warehouses are WDRA approved. They are of the best quality. Standards are being followed. FSSAI and EGMARK testings are happening through as per the global practices. The financing, the pledging and financing is also attached to it, and it's much more easy because prices are quite transparent on which banks or any other NBFC is having exposure. Payment facilitation, and next day payment happens if you're buying and selling. All the price differences are settled on next day, and when final delivery happens in 2 days, you get the payment and there is no default. There is staggered delivery. You can decide when to deliver and when to buy. The competition is high, so as I said, a lot of people are coming and trading. So one view cannot drive the prices. If you are so much strong on a price view, you have to compete with thousands of people to prove your price view, and the transparency remains high because nobody knows who is doing what, but there is a price which is visible for all. So these are some unique benefits of agriculture market which we have discussed. We can definitely take any question if anyone you is having on that. So this is just a brief. I try to cover, from this thing. Now, how actually it happens, Neeraj definitely will cover, and post Neeraj's presentation, we can take the questions related to the subject. Over to you, Neeraj. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kapil. Shamal, could you? Yeah, thank you. So good morning. Once again, I am Neeraj Shukla. NCDX is having different pillars for different functions. So NICR is one of NCDX pillars, creating education, awareness, and consultancy in the market ecosystem. So I am representing NICR today. So as Kapil was discussing that how much agriculture ecosystem is beneficial, and how the derivative ecosystem, what is the importance of this derivative ecosystem for the overall employment generation in the agriculture, and the various kind of roles it is playing. So continuing with that, so I just wanted to discuss that how the agriculture supply, this agriculture ecosystem consists of the various value chain participants, in which at one end there are the producers. As we are from the Agriculture Business Management College, so we all know that there are farmers who are the producers, and they are the producers of the commodities, various agri commodities. They are the actual suppliers of the commodities. And at the other end of the supply chain, there are the consumers like us. So what we are consuming, these agriculture commodities, they are being produced by those farmer producers. And in between, there are n number of intermediaries. So as Kapil was discussing that there are various kind of market participants. So they are often called as intermediaries of the ecosystem, or intermediaries of the this supply chain. So what do we find? Means we are going to discuss means how these intermediaries are important to the ecosystem and what kind of role they are playing, and then what kind of risk, as Kapil was discussing, what kind of risk they are facing. So we see that when the crop is being grown by the farmer, so the farmer brings the crop to the mandi mostly. He can sell it, he or she can sell it to the other few of the other alternatives, like any processing unit or millers or any contract farming, but those numbers are very little. So most of the farmers, they do bring their crop to the mandi. Now in mandi, what happens? There are auction takes place. During those auction, what happens? There are buyers and there are sellers. Sellers means there are farmers. So if we see, if you would have visited any of the APMC mandi, then if you have observed, then you will find that at any given point in time or on any given day, even in the largest mandi of the country. So at one end, there are n number of farmers. There could be hundreds and hundreds or hundreds of farmers, or sometimes thousands of farmers on any particular day for any crop. And then on the other side, what do we find on the buyer side? There are just limited number of buyers. So they could be around just 10, 15 or not more than 15, 20 for any particular commodity on any particular day in big arrival season. And if you visit it to any secondary or tertiary mandi, then you will hardly find just a couple of buyers, 2, 3, 4 or 5 buyers, that's all. So what does that mean? So if on one side there are higher number or large number of suppliers, and on the other side there are lesser number of buyers or takers, so then obviously we can assume that the prices could, at least prices could be altered or could be more, could be taken to one end by the other participant. So then there comes a role of intermediaries. So what kind of role of what kind of intermediaries are there in this ecosystem? So there are, suppose when the first farmer is bringing the commodity, so there are first level of traders. So there are commission agent both from the buyer side and from the seller side. Now these commission agent, they facilitate the auction process, and then the buyer or the first level of trader buys the commodities from the mandi, and then they take it to the either other trader or take it to the processing facility or anywhere. So there are other set of intermediaries, like they could be these processors or exporters. They could be these government agencies that, as Kapil was discussing, that the government procures the commodities for various welfare schemes. So what do these intermediaries are doing? So they are facilitating various kind of economic utilities. As we know that our agriculture commodities, these are seasonal in nature. So they are being produced in certain season, but they are required by the consumers across the season, across the year. Similarly, few of the commodities are being produced in certain specific geographies, but still they are being required by consumers across the country and across the globe. And then few of the commodities that are being produced in one form often requires to be processed in some other form to make it consumable by the consumers, to convert it in the consumable forms. So these intermediaries are doing their crucial role of creating different type of utilities, like place utility, time utility, and form utility. And then ultimately these commodity reaches to consumers like us. But what happens, as Kapil was discussing, that often these commodities are, the prices of these commodities are changing, and that are posing certain kind of risk that is called price risk to these intermediaries. Now, how the commodity derivative market can be used by these intermediaries to mitigate these kind of price risks, we'll be discussing today. So before that, just for the brief introduction, so just like a physical market, so we are very well versed with the physical kind of market or traditional market, as we were discussing that APMC mandis. So there are different kind of markets. So what is the characteristic of a good market? So any market should provide a fair price discovery. So what is price discovery? So in any market, say for a transaction takes place between one buyer and one seller. So the price at which that particular transaction has taken place is called as price discovered from that particular trade. So in any physical mandi, if we see, or if we visit any physical mandi, we see that there are thousands of farmers and there are tens or 20th of 20 buyers, and there are auction window of around 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes on any particular day. So during those 15 minutes to 30 minutes, the auction of all those commodities, all those lots of those various farmers takes place. Now, suppose there are 100 farmers and 100 lots with 100 lots. Now, those 100 lots are being sold at certain point, a certain price point. So those 100 price points are called as price discovered in that physical mandi. So as in economics, we see that if there are large number of buyers and sellers, then we can say that this market, that particular market is competitive enough. So there is a concept that is called liquidity. If there is large number of buyers and sellers, then we call that kind of market a liquid market. And liquidity means liquidity should be from the both side. That both either from the buyer side also and from the seller side also. Then this market should be transparent enough. So what do we mean by transparency? If all kind of information that is relevant for that particular marketplace to work is flowing freely to and is available immediately on the real-time basis to any number of participants, whether he is irrespective of his size of the size of the trade. So if he is a big farmer or a small farmer, if he is a big trader or a small trader, if all those participants are able to access all those kind of information, relevant information at same time, then we call that this kind of market is transparent one. Then this market should be trustworthy. Trustworthy means there should be efficient payment mechanism. There should be a good quality of goods and services. And if at all there arises any kind of disputes, so there should be proper and timely resolution mechanism for those disputes. So if all those characteristics are present in any particular market, then we can say that this market is a good market. But what we observe in any physical market, in any physical mandi, that yes, the liquidity is good in toward the seller side, but liquidity is not that much good toward the buyer side. And what else? If someone needs to participate in any market, in any physical mandi, then he or she has to visit that particular physical premise, because these APMC mandis are physical premises. So one has to visit, and it is not always possible for any person sitting at distant place to visit that particular mandi in physical. So that reduces the participation and liquidity in turn. And secondly, the information, if we are talking about the information, so not all the information is freely available to all kind of or every participant on immediate basis. Say for any trade happens in any mandi in Uttarakhand. Now, say, or any mandi in Delhi, one mandi in Delhi. Now the particular trade at which the price, sorry, the information related to that particular trade, whether it is price or whether it is a quality or quantity, is not immediately available to any person sitting in the any mandi in the southern state or in your place. So what does that mean? So information flow is also a challenge in this physical market. So nowadays reforms are taking place in the physical market with e-NAM and all those, but still there are time to go, and it will take decades to make the market much and more efficient. So there comes in 2003, the government allowed another kind of market that we call virtual markets. So till now we discussed the traditional kind of market, and in 2003 the virtual kind of market was allowed by the government. In virtual kind of market, what happens? As in physical market, any buyer and seller needs to be present in front of each other. Contrary to that, in virtual kind of market, buyers and sellers, they don't need to be present in front of each other. So how do they participate? So they can participate via online using their laptop, tablet, desktop, or any other medium. Just by having internet and any of the electronic medium, they can buy and sell. So now the question comes, these commodities are physical in nature, they are bulky in nature, and how come these commodities can be traded online? So there are a whole ecosystem to facilitate these kind of trade online that we are going to discuss today. So before that, as we were discussing that prices can change. So over here, what we are seeing, there is a commodity that is called soybean. And in this soybean commodity, we are seeing the price chart of last 10 years. So in last 10 years price, what we are seeing, that what we are observing, that prices are going up and down. So there are area in blue shaded area and peach color shaded area. So we see that blue shaded area, mostly in blue shaded area, the prices are going up, and in peach color shaded area, prices are coming down. So this blue shaded area is that represents the crop sowing and growth phase, whereas this peach color shaded area represents the harvesting period and arrival season. So what we are observing from this chart, that around 65 to 75% of the time, prices during the arrival season comes down, and mostly they hover towards the lowest of whole season or whole year. So what does that mean for any producer or any farmer? That means a farmer is bound to fetch the lowest price of whole year. Despite doing all the investment, all the labor, he is bound to fetch the lowest price. And that is true for almost 70% of the chance, 70% of the case. Now, what are the factors that are affecting these prices? We saw that prices are going up and down during throughout the year, but what are the factors that are affecting those prices? So if each and every factor that can affect the supply or demand or both of any of the commodity, that will certainly affect the prices. So if we see that the carryover stock of last year, or the crop acreage during the current year, or the weather or insect, pest, diseases, everything that is going to affect the crop growth. And then the production, ultimate production, and the government procurement. Then the domestic consumption, and then import and export demand or imports from other countries. Then global production, supply and demand. Then the government policies, import duties and all those. Import and export bans. So each and every factor that can affect either supply or demand or both, they will certainly affect the prices, and these prices are going to change day in, day out, and one or other set of the participants are going to be affected by the prices. Either prices will be going to his favor, his or her favor, or adverse to him or her. Now coming to the derivative. So contrary to the physical market, in which both buyers and sellers need to be present in front of each other, now this derivative ecosystem that doesn't require any person to be present in any physical premises. So what happens, what benefit we can get from, we are achieving from that? So it increases the number of participation. So it increases the liquidity both from the buyer side and from the seller side. And if the liquidity is higher, then the competition automatically gets increased. And if there is more competition, then you can say that this type of market would be more efficient as compared to any physical market. Now, how the prices are being determined in this derivative market? We would be comparing the physical market with this derivative market. Now, suppose there is a buyer and seller who wants to participate in derivative ecosystem. So they are buying or selling, suppose any commodity. Say we took the example of soybean. Now, suppose one person wants to sell, there is a seller that wants to sell soybean, and there is another person who wants to buy the soybean. So how come they can participate in this derivative market ecosystem, and what are the prices they are going to see what kind of quality they should possess for their commodity. If a farmer is there, what kind of quality he is going to bring to participate in derivative market. So we are going to discuss one by one. So first and foremost, we see that in any physical mandi, what happens is, suppose I want to sell, I am a farmer, I want to sell my commodity in any physical mandi. So whatever type of commodity, whatever quality of the commodity I have harvested, I can take it to the mandi and sell it over there. And the traders will, that commodity would be auctioned as per their merit. As per their merit means as per their quality. So if my commodity is of good quality, that would fetch higher price. If my commodity is of inferior quality, that would fetch lower price in that auction. So, but I am free to sell any, I am free to take any quality of the commodity in the mandi and sell over there. Similarly, I am free to take any quantity of the commodity and participate in auction process and sell over there. But the same is not the case in this kind of market, that is called derivative market. Why so? Because suppose you are a buyer, I am a seller. Now suppose you want to buy any of the commodity and you are not sure that what quality of the commodity you would be getting. So how you are going to price that, what price you are going to offer for that particular commodity. And in physical mandi, because buyers and sellers both are present in front of each other, so, and seeing the commodity, the buyer is seeing the commodity with the help of their eyes. He or she can test the commodity, touch and feel the commodity, check the quality of the commodity with his eyes. So there is an amount of trust built in between buyer and seller over there. But over here in this electronic online market, as the buyers and sellers are not present in front of each other, so that amount of trust cannot be generated by automatically. So there it requires some kind of mechanism, some kind of processes, some kind of rules and regulation that can generate that kind of trust in between buyers and sellers. So there comes an importance of the exchange. So over there was physical market. Over here, market is an electronic platform that is being provided by the exchange. So exchange is providing a market, electronic market, through which buyers and sellers can make use of that electronic market and buy and sell. Now, what commodity they can buy and sell, what quantity they can buy and sell, what other parameters are there where they can buy and sell, where from they can give and take delivery. Each and everything is fixed by the exchange in terms of in the form of a specification that is called as contract specification. So over here in futures market, all those parameters that can affect the price of any commodity is fixed by the exchange. So what kind of thing can affect the prices? First and foremost is the quality of the commodity. So quality of the commodity means it could be the moisture percentage, it could be the oil percentage if it is oil seed commodity, it could be the foreign matter in almost all commodities, it could be the broken seed. So all those quality parameters are fixed by the exchange. Fixed by the exchange means for each and every commodity, these parameters are fixed to certain limit. So if there is a buyer, so now what he is going to buy? He is going to buy the commodity with those quality parameters. The commodity should be having those qualities that can be only bought from this exchange. And if any seller needs to sell through this exchange, this derivative market, then he or she should also bring the commodity and that should have that particular quality parameters. As Kapil was discussing that the very important objective of this kind of derivative ecosystem is the First and foremost is the price discovery, and second is the price risk management. The price discovery, we already discussed that in this kind of market, as there is no restriction of any person to participate, any person, any resident Indian from anywhere in the country can participate. So that increases the number of participation and liquidity. So if there is more liquidity, that means there is better and efficient price discovery. And secondly, the price risk management. So the price risk management, how these intermediaries can make use of this derivative ecosystem for price risk management, we would discuss in later slides. Secondly, the major feature of these derivative market is that it is highly liquid as compared to the physical market as discussed, and it is very well regulated. So the regulator of the stock market, SEBI, is also the regulator of this commodity market. So as of now, this is various exchanges. As of now, there are 5 exchanges in the country who are offering commodity derivatives. So NCDX is the largest exchange for agriculture derivatives. NCDX cater for around 80% or more share in agriculture derivative segment. And second comes the multi-commodity exchange. And the third one is ICX. BSE and NSE are also there offering various commodity derivatives. But for if we are seeing the agriculture commodity derivatives, then NCDX is the numero uno exchange. Among NCDX group, what we are seeing that NCDX is the marketplace. It is providing the marketplace or market platform, and there are other functions also in any particular market. So not only the only transaction is required, but also the clearing and settlement and the physical movement good and all those things are required. So these things, these functions are being facilitated with various other entities, sister companies of the NCDX. So there is NCCL, National Clearing Corporation Limited, that is offering clearing and settlement of each and every trade that happens through NCDX. Now suppose a trade happens through NCDX, so the guarantee of the clearing and settlement is taken by the NCCL. There is another entity that is called National E-Repository Limited. So this is the repository wing that records all the transaction, all the goods that are being kept in the warehouses, and through which electronic negotiable warehouse receipts are being generated. NICR is the entity that is creating the education awareness in the market ecosystem, and NEML is the National E-Market Limited, that is a spot market that is creating various kind of reforms in the spot market. So currently there are 3 kind of derivatives allowed in the country. So one is futures, one is options, and the third is indices. So one by one we are going to discuss each of them. So in futures, there are these kind of commodities are available among the various segments. In futures, there are oil seeds, oils, grains and pulses, spices, fibers, and others. So among oil seeds, say for soybean, mustard seed; among oil, refined soy oil, CPO, means crude palm oil; among grains and pulses, wheat, barley, maize, moong; among spices, coriander, jeera, turmeric, and so on. So all these commodities are available among futures segment. So we are going to discuss one by one what does that futures and options mean. And then among options, there are as of now there are 6 commodities. So guar seed, guar gum, soybean, mustard, maize, and wheat. And among indices, there are 3 indices that are currently tradable. So Agri-Dex, Guarex, and Soyadex. So these are the various commodities available on various for trading among various segments. So SEBI has allowed around 91 commodities that any of the exchange can launch. So 91 commodities are allowed to trade through derivatives platform. But as of now, if we see that around 23-24 commodities are available among future segment in NCDX, 6 among option segment, and 3 under indices segment at NCDX. Similarly, other exchanges are also having various kind of commodities. Let's say for MCX is having various metals, energy, and bullions commodity. Now coming to futures. So what happens as we are discussing in the physical market? In physical market, we saw that buyers and sellers are present in front of each other and they are transacting with each other, and then buyer is immediately paying the money to the seller and seller is handing over the commodity to the buyer. Now, what happens in this futures kind of market? As the name suggests, it is futures. So the transaction can take place immediately, but the actual handover of the good would happen at certain point in future. So that certain point or certain date in future is called expiry, date of the expiry at which that particular contract expires. Now, these contracts, now why these are called contracts? Because right now, suppose today we are going to enter in a transaction. Suppose you are a buyer and I am a seller. Now we are entering, today is Saturday, so market would be off. But suppose on any trading day, anyone is participating. So what they are buying and selling? They are buying and selling in a contract. Currently they are saying that this is a commodity contract. So that contract specifies that the buyer is ready to take the commodity or take the delivery of the commodity at certain point in time in future. Similarly, seller is agreeing that yes, I would be delivering the commodity at that particular time in future. So what is happening over here? The date that is being decided, that date represents certain date in future. So what we are talking, we are transacting today, but we are transacting for a date in future. But prices are being fixed today. So we are fixing the price today, but the actual movement of the commodity would happen in a future date. This is not the case in the physical market. In physical market, the exchange of the goods and the money was happening immediately. Now, as we were discussing that to build the trust in between buyers and sellers, how come a buyer sitting at a distance place becomes assured that whatever price he is going to pay for, he would be getting the same quality of the commodity. So for that, as we discussed, that the exchange has fixed all those parameters that can affect the price of that particular commodity. So any of the parameters, say why it is a quality of the commodity or quantity of the commodity or the trading and delivery unit and tick size, so all those things. So we are going to discuss one by one. What does that mean? So quality of the commodity means that moisture percentage, oil percentage, all those things are fixed for each and every commodity. Depending upon the requirement of that commodity, these are fixed. The quantity of the commodity is fixed in terms of what minimum quantum one can buy or sell and thereof. So in physical mandi, suppose I am bringing, I am a farmer and bringing 1 quintal, that can also be traded. If I am bringing 5 quintal, that can also be traded. If I am buying 10.75 quintal, that can also be traded. But in futures market or in derivative market, so there is a concept that is called lot size. So in that, the minimum quantity that can be bought or sold is fixed by the exchange. That is called lot. So say for in case of wheat, it is 10 metric tons. Say for it in case of soybean, it is 5 metric tons. Say for in case of jeera, it is 3 metric tons, and so on. So depending upon the bulkiness nature of the commodity, these quantum are fixed. So suppose I need to buy or sell, so I can buy minimum 10 metric ton of wheat in one trade. or its multiple. So I can buy or sell 10 metric ton, 20 metric ton, or 30 metric ton, and so on. Similarly, if I want to participate in soybean, then I can buy or sell 5 metric ton, 10 metric ton, 15 metric ton, and so on. So the quantity is fixed, quality is fixed. The tick size. What is tick size? The minimum price movement that can happen either on the upside or downside. Say for any commodity is being priced at 5,000 rupees a quintal, and then the minimum tick size is 10 rupees. So what does that mean? If the price is increasing, then very next price after that 5,000 would be 5,000 plus 1 tick size, that is 5,010 rupees, or 5,000 plus 2 tick size, that is 5,020 rupees, and so on. If tick size is 1 rupees, so the price is increasing, that means 5,000 plus 1 tick size, now tick size is 1 rupee, so 5,001 rupees, or 5,000 rupees plus 2 tick size means 5,002 rupees, and so on. Similarly, on the downside, if price tick size is 1 rupees and price is decreasing, that means 4,909 rupees would be the very next price, or 4,998 rupees. So if tick size is 1 rupees, so price cannot change by 50 paisa or 25 paisa. Price would change by only in terms of tick size, one tick size, 2 tick size, or 5 tick size, or 10 tick size, whatsoever. That means tick size and 1 tick size and its multiple. In case of delivery center, so there is a concept of delivery center. So in physical mandi, as each and every buyers and sellers who are registered in that physical mandi need to participate through those need to visit in those physical mandi. So participate over there. Over here in futures market, one cannot participate from anywhere. So for each and every commodity, delivery centers are fixed. Delivery center means where from seller can give delivery and where from buyer can take delivery. So those delivery centers, delivery locations are fixed. So these centers are fixed for each and every commodity. So if one needs to sell a commodity or deliver the commodity through the exchange, so that person needs to visit that particular delivery center and through the warehouse in those delivery centers, only he or she can deliver the commodity. Then there comes the concept of expiry date. Expiry date I will discuss in next slide. There is a concept of price limits. So it is not possible that prices can change to any level. So what does that mean? So suppose today price is suppose today for any particular commodity the price is 5,000 rupees. So as a risk mitigation measure, the exchange had kept a price limit to each and every commodity for any particular day. Say for any commodity is traded today at 100 rupees. So tomorrow, if the price limit is normally in exchange right now, price limit is 6% and 4%. So say for if price limit is 6%. So if the price is closed today at 100 rupees, so tomorrow on the higher side, price cannot go beyond 106 rupees. On the lower side, price cannot go below 94 rupees. So price limit is fixed for any particular day. But day after tomorrow, again, that price limit would be 6% of 106 rupees if on the higher side, and if on the lower side, then if went to the lower side at 94 rupees, so 6% of that price. Then there is concept of position limits. That means for each and every person, each and every commodity, there is restriction on in terms of quantum of open interest that one person can take or one person can build in. So maximum position, maximum quantum that one person can take in any particular commodity in any expiry is fixed by the exchange. So this is also kind of risk mitigation measure, so that any person or any group of person cannot take the prices to anywhere. Then there comes the concept of daily settlement price and final settlement price. So this we will be discussing in one of the other slide. So these are the contract specification example for soybean. Say for the trading unit is fixed for 5 metric ton. The quotation is rupees per quintal. The tick size is rupees 1, as we were discussing. The delivery center is fixed. For soybean, it is Indore as a basis center, and there are Akola, Latur, Kota, and Mandsaur as additional delivery center. The delivery logic is compulsory delivery, means if any buyer has taken position and he has entered into a staggered delivery period, he has given intention, so compulsorily he or she has to take the delivery. Then the position, the price limit is 6%. The position limit, as we were discussing, that the near month position limit is 30,000 metric ton, and far month position limit is 1,20,000 metric ton. So any person cannot take position beyond 30,000 metric ton in the first month futures contract and 1,20,000 in far month future contract. The expiry is fixed as 20th of every month. So on the exchange, each and every contract will expire on 20th of that particular month. If 20th is a holiday, that is then expiry is preponed to 19th. I mean, if 19th is again holiday, the expiry is preponed to 18th, and so on. In the last column, we are seeing that last year's performance. So on the exchange, we can see that around 25 million, more than 25 or 26 million metric ton of soybean was traded. So this shows the liquidity at the exchange. So we can see that how much robust our exchange is in terms of this soybean contract. So we, in the next column, we have given the contract specification of CME. CME is the largest exchange in the world in terms of largest commodity exchange in the world. So what we can observe that in case in CME is also the trading unit is 5,000 bushels. The quotation is US cents per bushel, and so on. So we can see that these contract specifications are almost same. Means all those parameters, all those things are there in each and every exchange. The limit would be different, but all those things are there. All those things are present in other exchanges also. Now,
Neeraj,
we were discussing that.
Yeah, Neeraj, we can skip this, I think.
Sure.
We can open for the question. I need to rush at 11:30.
Okay, sure. Sorry. So now coming to the price risk mitigation by the by using the derivative commodity derivatives. So how one can participate in commodity derivative market is just to open an account with any member of the exchange. So one can open in member of the exchange. In normal term, they are called as brokers of the brokers. So one can visit to any of the broker and open an account, and by opening account, he or she becomes eligible to trade or participate, and one can, by putting margin, one can start buying and selling. So what is a margin? Margin is the minimum money required to participate in this derivative market. So there is one difference between physical market and this future market is that in physical market, the buyer pays the money and seller receives the money because he hands over the good to the buyer. But over here, because what we are talking about is the some time in future, the actual delivery or actual handover of the good is happening at a certain date in future. Till that time, there is only this transaction has taken place, and till that time we don't need to pay the complete money. Whether the buyer and seller, they don't need to pay the complete money. Rather, they need to pay the proportion of total value of the quantity of the commodity and start trading. So say for a commodity is worth 5,000 rupees a quintal, the price at 5,000 rupees a quintal, and the lot size is 10 metric ton, then the value of the commodity would be 5 lakh rupees. And then suppose the margin is 10%. So 10% of 5 lakh rupees is 50,000. So 50,000 rupees is a margin that is required to be paid both by the buyers and sellers to start participating in this market. And once once trading position has taken place, so every day the mark to market calculations are there. Mark to market needs to be settled. So mark to market is the profit and loss that happens based on the position. Suppose I have bought at 5,000 rupees and tomorrow price goes to 5,100 rupees. So I am gaining. I am witnessing mark to market gain. And if the price is going down, then and I am a buyer, then price is going against me, then I need to pay to the exchange this mark to market. So this needs to be settled on daily basis before market hours. Now, how one can use this derivative market for hedging the price risk. So what is hedging? Hedging is just taking the opposite position of one is having in physical market. So taking the simplest example of the farmer. So farmer is a producer of a commodity. So what we can assume that he is the holder, he is holding the commodity that is required to be sold in the market. So he can use this derivative market for his price risk mitigation or hedging. Now, I am just taking an example that suppose in the time of sowing, there is a commodity. Just assume that a commodity is soybean. Soybean is a kharif commodity that is being sown in the month of June, July, and harvested in the month of October, November. Now, in the month of June, sitting in the month of June, a farmer sees that there are contract that is going to expire in the month of November, and the price of November expiry is 5,000 rupees. So now he is having a commodity contract that is going to expire in the November month on 20th of November or 18th of November if it is 2021, and then the price that is he is seeing that is 5,000 rupees. And what he can compare the price with the previous year's prices. He can compare the price with his own experience. He can compare the price with his cost of production and expected profits. So by comparing, if he finds that yes, this 5,000 is suitable, that this price suits him, so he can lock his price. By sitting in the month of June, he can lock his price of November month. November month means when the crop is ready after harvest. So what he needs to do, he or she just need to take a sell position in November expiry by sitting in the month of June itself. So now suppose I am assuming that in the November month, as we saw in the earlier chart, that price comes down. Now if price comes down to 4,000 rupees, so what would happen? From this 5,000 rupees to 4,000 rupees, he would gain mark to market. 1,000 rupees mark to market profit he would be received from futures market. And upon delivery, he can get 4,000 rupees price from the exchange after delivery. So net to net, what would be his net realization? 1,000 rupees mark to market profit plus 4,000 rupees after delivery. So net realization would be 5,000 rupees, the same price at which he has hedged in the month of June. So what we are observing that despite the prices coming down in the month of November after harvesting, he was able to secure his minimum price of 5,000 rupees. But there is one drawback to this, that if prices are going upside, suppose price goes to 6,000 rupees, then what happen in that case? 1,000 rupees from 5,000 to 6,000 rupees, that 1,000 rupees mark to market loss he needs to pay to the exchange. Now upon delivery, he would be receiving 6,000 rupees, but 1,000 rupees he has already paid as a mark to market. So net realization for him would be again 6,000 rupees minus 1,000 rupees that he has already paid, that is 5,000 rupees. So what we are observing in this futures derivative, that a farmer is able to realize a minimum price of 5,000 rupees in both the scenario where the prices are going upside or going downside. So going upside is definitely, he can consider that this is an opportunity loss for him, but at least he is able to secure minimum 5,000 rupees. That risk that he is carrying for around 70% of the time. Now, coming to the another instrument that is called options. In options, what happens? We don't need to. This is another kind of instrument in which we don't need to pay the any margin or M2M. Rather than we need to pay just a premium. This option we can compare with any of the our insurance. Suppose we take insurance for our vehicle or our bike or a car. So what do? We just pay the premium and my bike or my car is insured. So whatever happens to my bike or car, insurance company will pay for that. So what expenditure I have incurred for that? I have incurred a minimum expenditure for that premium. So I have paid the premium, and for that by paying that premium, I have insured my vehicle. As in the similar case, what we can compare this option with the insurance. So over there, we were insuring our vehicle for accident and all those one. And over here in the derivative market, we are insuring the price. So by paying a premium, we can get our prices insured through option instrument. Now, suppose there is a 5,000 rupees price. Again, I'm taking the same case, same example, same labels. So there is a 5,000 rupees price for the November month in option instrument. And for that, suppose say for the 200 rupees a premium. So by paying 200 rupees a premium, I purchased the insurance through option. So what we need to do? We need to buy a put option. So there are two kind of option, that is called call option and put option. So by buying put option, we are buying the right to sell. So right to sell, because I am a farmer, so I need to sell the commodity. So for that, I need to buy a put option. So that put option is equivalent to selling in futures. Now by paying premium, I have got a right to sell at 5,000 rupees. So as we discussed that there is no mark to market to be paid over here. There is no margin to required to be paid over here. Just we need to pay the premium. Now again, taking the same case, that price came down to 4,000 rupees. So now if price came down to 4,000 rupees, I can deliver at the exchange and realize the price of 5,000 rupees. And if price goes to, say, for upside to 6,000 rupees, so in that case, I don't have any obligation. So the beauty of this instrument is that lower side is also protected. If price goes lower, then lower side is also protected as it was in the future, and upside is also protected. That was not the case in case of future. So if price goes to 6,000 over there, now what I can do, I can leave these options to expire as such, and I can go to any nearby mandi and sell over there. So as in the prices are going upside, then market in physical market also the prices would be going up higher. Then there are chances that I would be realizing higher prices in the physical mandi. So over there, I don't need to do anything else. So I just paid my premium, and I have protected both upside and downside with this option instrument. Now there are various kind of incentives given to the farmers. So what we are seeing that there are various charges for if farmer needs to assay his commodity for inequality testing and all those. So all those charges are 100% reimbursable by the exchange. In warehouses, the farmers, these farmers or FPOs need to deposit the commodity kept in a gunny bag. So one gunny bag costs around 35 to 45, 50 rupees. So 100% cost of gunny bags are reimbursed by the exchange. All the charges, 50% of the charges towards the transportation from the farmers or FPOs field to warehouse through which the commodity delivery is going to be happen is reimbursed to the FPOs. Then warehouse rent, 50% of warehouse rent are reimbursable upon, and then 50% of mandi tax are reimbursable. So these kind of incentives are being provided by the exchange to encourage farmers, producer organization, and in turn farmers to use the commodity derivative ecosystem for their price risk mitigation. So with this, I am ending my presentation. Now, if anyone is having any query, the floor is open for discussion.
Yes, sir. I have a question. Um, So according to all the benefits that we saw of price risk management, and there are also opportunities for earning profits. And I feel that it is beneficial for the risk sensitive customers as well as the ones who are involved in risky tradings. So my question is, are there any challenges that exchanges are facing in convincing customers into commodity trading?
No, there is nothing like any challenge, because what happens, we saw that since it is still the commodity market is still in nascent stage. Despite it started in 2003, it picked up a good volume till 2011. Thereafter, due to certain rules regulations from the government, participation slightly came down. But still, it is slowly and slowly picking up, and more type of participants are starting to use this commodity market. More and more type of instruments are being allowed by the regulator. So earlier, initially, there was only futures were allowed in this market. Later on, after SEBI came into picture, so it allowed options, it allowed indices. So right now, what we are seeing, we are having different type of instrument apart from futures. There are options, indices. Earlier, the only few set of participants allowed. Now, slowly and slowly, there are mutual funds allowed. There are PMS and all those banks and bank broking arms. All those things are being allowed. So, what we are seeing that this market is developing slowly and slowly with the help of various with the help of various steps taken from the regulators and the exchange. And though there are times, it will take time to keep a pace with the security market, but yes, it's developing. So there is nothing like challenge as a challenge that any challenge are being faced in propagating things or reaching out to the customer. There's nothing like that.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. In case of farmers, definitely, because farmers are reaching out to the farmers and all those. It is a tedious task, and it is cumbersome process. So it requires lot of resources. So exchange itself alone cannot do all the job. So it requires the holistic approach from the not only the exchange but all other participants, all the ecosystem partners, including the government, including the banking ecosystem, including the warehousing ecosystem, including all other like institutions like yours. So everywhere means if each and every ecosystem partner are they are doing their own bit of propagating this, or creating awareness among farmers. So definitely we'll see that at one point in time in future, more and more farmers would be able to use this.
अरे तो मंदिर सारे तेरा नेटवर्क नहीं आ रहे.
Any further questions? Sorry, I
Hello, good morning, sir. Hello.
Yeah,
So Shivam Lavansi here, sir. Hello.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Sir, actually, I want to know about the initial margin rate for soybean, because I have seen in one
मंदिर कौन से है
NCDEX.
वहाँ पे घोड़ाखाल में?
Anjali, mic off कर लो. Hello, sir. So I want to know about initial margin rate of NCDEX soybean, like Soyadex.
So for soybean futures, for each and every commodity, the margins rates are different. So right now, from 8% to around 14% or so, margins are there. So if you see, if you want to check margin, just go to the website of NCDEX and in the market data segment, I'll show you. This is the NCDEX website. In the very first tab, we see that market data. In market data, we can see that on the very left column, on the fifth, sixth row. So one can get the daily margins available there. Right now, I think it is either 12% or 14% of the contract value.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Good morning, sir. This is Siddharth from PPTO. Sir, I wanted to basically, can you please elaborate on the price determination mechanism that NCDEX uses for different commodities?
So price determination, there are two different type of price that is being discovered over there. First is the futures prices. So in futures prices, what happens? There are participants, but there are buyers and sellers who are participating. So NCD is nothing, just providing a platform. Just comparative physical mandi, APMC mandi. So what is APMC mandi? It is just a physical premise. In that physical premise, there is seller or farmer bringing their produce, and there are buyers registered over there, and they are taking part in the auction process. Okay. Now, similarly over here, it is nothing, just a market platform. So NCDEX is just a market platform on which there are buyers and sellers interacting with each other, and they are trading. And with each and every transaction, that is happening at a certain price point, and then that particular price point is being discovered through each and every transaction. So throughout the day, since morning 9 o'clock to evening 5 or evening 9, few commodities are traded till 5, few commodities are traded till 9 p.m. So since morning till evening, the prices are being discovered through all those interactions between buyers and sellers, transaction between buyers and sellers. So this is futures price discovery over there. Secondly, for our settlement of any commodity contract, we do require spot prices, because ultimately what happens, we could not cover all those aspects, because the whole concepts to discuss, it takes days for to discuss all those derivative concepts. So what happens, at the expiry, upon the expiry, the future prices converge with the spot prices. It is the nature of the contract that future prices do mostly converge with the spot prices. So we do require spot prices of that particular commodity. So for that, we have a mechanism to poll that prices. Say for in soybean. So soybean basis center is Indore. So in Indore mandi, whatever the price is there, it is reflecting the price, spot prices. It is based on the spot prices, that is spot price of soybean running in this Indore mandi. Now, how to get the spot price of soybean in Indore mandi? Because in physical mandi, as we discussed, that any of the quality can be traded, but over here the quality is fixed. So we have our empaneled partners. Partners means there are traders, there are FPOs, there are importers and exporters. There are hundreds of these partners who are providing prices to us. So every day, twice, one in morning and one in afternoon, we are pulling prices from them. And then, say for suppose we have got 100 prices from 100 participants. Now, in those 100 prices, we would be eliminating the upper and lower limits. Extreme higher prices and the lower prices would be eliminated, means discarded, and then remaining prices would be averaged out. And that averaging is also not a simple average. It is there is a process that is called bootstrapping method. So that through bootstrapping method, we arrive at a certain price. After there are numerous averages, and out of those numerous averages, then again it is average. That averages is also averaged. So that is called the pooled spot price. This process happens twice a day, and then that is being used for final settlement price, final settlement of the commodity contract. So last 3 days, suppose the contract is expired on 20th of particular month. So suppose 18th, 19th and 20th. So last 3 trading days prices are taken and average last 3 final settlement prices are averaged to arrive at the final settlement price. And the final profit and loss are being calculated based on the final settlement price of that that has been averaged out. So these two kind of prices are being discovered through exchange ecosystem.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Very good morning, sir.
Yeah, please.
This is Subhash Chandra from BGP2 second year. Sir, I want to ask that what are the parameters through which the quality of commodities will decide, like shape, size, and color, and foreign materials are also present in that commodity. So, and how the whole process is working.
So what happens for each and every commodity based on the requirement of the market ecosystem? Market ecosystem is who are the actual user of the commodity. There could be the processor and importer and exporter, all those actual user of the commodity. The exchange every year exchange sets a meeting with all those actual users, and based on that, based on their observation, based on their requirements, and based on the feasibility, the criteria are set for each and every parameter. And if you want to know about the what kind of parameters are there for every commodity, just visit the just go to ncdx.com. In that website, there are products there. Under that products there, there are various sets of the commodity. Say for soybean, just click on the soybean among oil seeds, and in that go to the contract specifications. In that contract specification, you will find each and every parameter that are allowed for the contract, futures contract over there.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Yeah.
This is Sonali from second year. So I want to ask, is there any commodity that has great production and consumption, but still don't have that great volume and derivative due to interference of government?
Yeah, definitely. We can have example of wheat. See, it is one of the largest production, more than 100 million ton production, but still, if you see the liquidity at the exchange, it is negligible. So whereas there is more involvement of or more restriction in terms of government rules and regulation, so the interest of participants are reduced in derivative market.
Sir, does farm bills have any impact on commodity or agri-commodity market?
So definitely farm bills are beneficial for the overall ecosystem, and see that will in these farm bills, if once implemented properly, then they will create the infrastructure, required infrastructure in the market, and those infrastructure and flexibility that will provide the impetus for further development, for the growth of the overall ecosystem.
Can I comment here, Neeraj?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I think Farm Bill had brought in by the government considering challenges this market is facing, right? If you want, the people to come and invest in particular sector, you have to give them a comfort that there will be less of intervention by the government, which can impact their investment. So Essential Commodity Act, or making market transparent and less complex by removing some clauses of APMC was the intent. But as of now, this has not been implemented. So we don't see any of the impact on any of the business at this point of time. But yes, if these are made available, definitely a lot of positive developments will happen in agriculture marketing.
So in your opinion, Essential Commodity Act and APSC Act will actually uplift farmers in commodity market or agriculture commodity market?
Look, I will not say uplift or will impact negatively. I'll say there are certain steps which are required and which should be initiated, to give a long-term perspective for any of the sector, right? If you want people from the outside to come and invest in agriculture, which is the largest sector as far as Indian economy is concerned, you have to give a bit of comfort. And as I mentioned, right, prices, production, and the supply chain works always around the demand supply dynamics of the country, right? So any intervention into that will distort at least one part of the commodity cycle, and that will have negative impact on someone, right? If we want to give more prices to the farmers, look, then we have to come up with the innovative solutions, right? Of course, farmer needs better realization to the crop and the farming, but can we just stick to the approach what we have been using since last 50 years? May not be. Right? So we have to find a solution. Earlier, when there was a loss to a crop because of some weather, the government was compensating that. Now there is a crop insurance in place, and most of the farmers are now buying them themselves. Right? So this is the development which has happened, and it is everywhere. So agri marketing also has to see those challenges. Still, we are, when I was studying in 2000, we have been taught, yeah, we had been taught that the post-harvest loss in the Indian economy is huge. It's around 90,000 crore or 1 lakh crore, right? Nothing has changed after 20. Still, the figure remains same. So how will this improve? This will improve if consolidation happens, quality investment happens, long-term visions and plannings are built. And that should not be interrupted in between. So yes, some changes are required, and it can be debated, but yes, I think in what form, in what shape we will need it, it's a debatable question, but yes, we need few key very innovative steps to boost agriculture marketing.
Sir, as India is an agriculture country, more than 50% of the population is dependent on agriculture. So I want to know that, and the government is also empowering and forcefully like trying to actually make FPOs as much as possible. So how this step can help more farmers to get involved in agriculture commodity market?
Right. So, the challenges Indian market faces from the production side and the marketing side is the fragmentation, right? We have 7,000 marketplaces and maybe 7 lakh of traders and millions of farmers, right? But consolidation is not there. Size is small, and small size brings a lot of challenges in terms of buying the best input, in terms of using best technology, and in terms of doing marketing, and of course, negotiation skills and bargaining power goes down. We have seen corporate farming, right? Whenever country we talk about, any of the country we talk about which is developed for agriculture in terms of production, productivity, and marketing, they are large size. They have large size of farm, whether it's Australia, Canada, US, Russia. Now African countries are growing, and farm size are large. They are using best of best technique and giving best of best production and the best realization to the farmer. I think by using FPO, the same approach is being, pushed by the government, right? You join your hand in a comfortable manner, right? You all are stakeholder here. Ownership is not being transferred. You are not into any of the agreement. It's voluntary, but you are part of a company, and you can take a lot of decisions jointly, whether it's for better input negotiation using best technology or for doing the marketing in a group on a larger scale. So I think this is the future of Indian agriculture. We know the fact, right? We are fragmented, and fragmentation keeps on happening once generation changes. So with a marginal land holding of 1 hectare, if we move to 0.5, maybe after 2 generations, then things becomes much more complicated and difficult. But yes, this structure offers a lot of solutions, and I think it has a long way to go.
As sir, MSP is also a type of hedging which is provided by Government of India, and only 6% of the farmers are actually getting benefit from that, according to the report. So why farmers are not shifting their interest in agriculture commodity market? Why they are always trying that MSP increase? They get profit from MSP only.
The risk management and adoption of risk management has remained the least priority India as an economy and as a society, right? We don't buy health insurance. Even we don't, prefer to use the helmet until unless there is a traffic cop sitting on a road and making sure that people are wearing helmet. For what these all has been built, right? For our own safety. If you are ill, there is a protection mechanism. You will get the money and you will be treated in the best of the best hospital. If you are driving a bike, you fall down, at least helmet is saving your head and your life. But still, we have a lot of conservative approach towards all these initiatives. Right? Similarly, here, right? We, as I said, we are stick to one procedure or a method of agriculture marketing which is MSP driven, and we say MSP is the solution. Yes, it was, right? When MSP was given, if you go back to the history and understand, right, it was to promote the production of particular crop to ensure food safety and security of the country. Now we have achieved that, right? Now we are moving, as Neeraj also mentioned, from a short supply to surplus. Now, if we are moving into surplus, we need to shift our focus from certain crops to certain crops. We are still short of pulses, we are still short of oil seeds, we are import-driven economy for oil seeds. But how will that happen, right? So there is a crop where farmers are getting at least some of the farmers are getting a assurance of income by MSP mechanism, and there is a crop which is open to market risk, right? If I want to shift from wheat, suppose, to mustard, and I will see a lot of things, right? Wheat, I will do this much of production, this is the cost, this is the MSP which government is giving, and now alternatives mustard where prices looks better, right? But there is no surety whether I will get those prices or not, and that is something which distract farmer to move to another crops, right? And if they try to move on, maybe 1 year they make money, next year they lose money, and then again they are back to their traditional crops, right? You look at the entire western UP or the UP, Punjab, Haryana, very traditional cropping pattern, and everybody knows the challenges these patterns have, right? But these tools, what Neeraj has mentioned, right? Need to be promoted, need a penetration among the farmers, and a lot of awareness need to be created. So in nutshell, I will say farmers are not, against to experiment and grow new crops. We have become self-sufficient in all the things, not because uh, only policy, but by the government, by the farmers. They have shifted, they have chosen those crops, they have taken that call, and they have made country self, sufficient. Pulses is the best example. 2016, we were suffering from the highest of the highest inflation. In 2020, we were talking about the excess pulses and we were banning import. Right? So things can be changed if the right set, right tool, and the right communication is given to the farmer. And derivatives market, again, I'll say, is the best thing, right? Rather than farmers depending on someone and then looking toward the governments. Now these are the tools which are widely accepted and utilized by the farmers in the other countries. In India, we are seeing some growth happening and some initiatives by the farmers themselves are being taken. Once they understand this, yes, they can lock a price at the time of sale itself. Acceptance of will happen.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Vijay.
Morning, sir.
Can I request other people to just be on mute? A lot of disturbances coming.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir. Sir, my name is Vijay. Currently, I am pursuing my BSc Agriculture from GB Pan University, Pannagar. Sir, as I belongs to agricultural family, and my father is also farmer, and my ancestor was also agriculture background, and I am also studying agriculture. So my question is that the farmers, as I see in my village or maybe in my state as well, farmers don't have enough financial things. But how the NC, like how you are encouraging farmers how you are encouraging farmers to contact with them so that they will sell and they will sell their products with you and not in the mandis, because we know the mandi system is what is happening right now in mandis.
Vijay, interesting question. This is, we are not saying farmers to come and use our system and then avoid mandi, right? We are saying, right, if you are buying a health insurance, it is not saying that you move out from Pandnagar and get your treatment in US, right? It is saying whenever you are getting treatment, you are protected against the cost incur, correct? We are saying the same thing. If you are making a decision to sow any crop, first you should think of protecting your income from that crop. So as of now, if, as a farmer, I am making a call to grow a crop, suppose like soybean, right? There are two ways. Either I will give it to the government, and if government doesn't buy, I will go to the market. But I don't know the prices. So that is the risk which farmers are taking. Earlier, there was no tools available to manage that. Now there are tools. You can just buy a put option, what Neeraj has described, by paying a certain premium. Include that premium in your cost of cultivation, then decide the price you want to lock in, which is profitable for you, and then go for that crop. So your crop decision is based on return, not on certain assumption that how much money you will make. Now I come to your uh, the first part of your question, how banking can be involved by using derivative market, right? The risk to the bankers is that farm income is very volatile, and prices nobody knows, demand supply nobody knows what would be 6 months. So crop advance is exposed to the market volatility, which and nobody has control over it. But if a banker knows, okay, these farmers are growing soybean, they have locked their prices at 6,000 rupees, so their profitability and income is assured. So my loan is protected. Yeah, my exposure with those FPOs is protected. So using of one tool definitely can lead to another kind of push from other stakeholders as well. So that's what we are saying, to the farmers and to the FPOs, that use this tool, protect your income, and so you are protected, your income is protected, and everyone who are associated with you, you are protected. And one more thing, we mostly, from agri institutes, we move to agri input companies, and we are trying to sell, the new products coming in, high price products coming in. But have you ever thought of linking the, input utilization from the farmer's income perspective, which is the crop which gets maximum use of input, maybe chili and cotton, no? For what? Because realization is better. And realization is known, kind of. These are called cash crop, whatever. If we bring that kind of approach to all the crop, farmers will be in a better position to decide how to, do the management of that crop. If a farmer is growing maize and he doesn't know the income, right, and it's a always risk, then my decision as a farmer about that crop will remain very very shoddy. Okay, पता नहीं कितना पैसा मिलने वाला है, पता नहीं क्या realization होने वाला है. Let's use my inputs and my efforts accordingly. But if he knows that, okay, for this crop I'm going to get 1 lakh rupees after putting all the costs, he will be in a much more comfortable position to utilize or use various kind of inputs. So farm practices and behavior of farmers definitely can be changed only by, having these tools in place where he knows, or the farmers or FPO knows uh, their return from any of the crop. So this is what we push, Vijay, and hopefully farmers and other stakeholders will understand, and they will start pushing, utilizing these kind of tools to improve farm income.
Yeah, of course, sir. Sir, but the second thing, the most farmers are in Uttarakhand, or maybe basically most farmers, as I have read about the agriculture, most farmers are marginal farmers. They don't enough grow, and their income is very less. Could you think about that? They will make a team, and then they will contact with you after making a team, such that because they are very marginal farmers, they don't grow enough. Like they live in very small community, they don't have enough land. Like we see the farmers of Punjab, Haryana, they grow in a large quantity of food, but in our state Uttarakhand, the farmers don't grow in enough quantity. Like they grow chilies, potatoes in a small quantity because they have a very small land, we can say.
Absolutely, Vijay. I mean, that's what this FPO concept is coming in, and that's the future of Indian farming. Consolidation need to be happen. So there is improvement on every aspect of agriculture, whether it's food, crop management, or marketing. So that is supposed to happen, and that will happen over a period of time.
I guess we have no more talks left. So, moving towards the end of the session, I would like to thank our Mr. Kapil Dev sir and Mr. Neeraj Shukla sir for sharing their valuable time with us. And to all the participants who have shown their participation in this session, commodity trading is definitely the future of agricultural trading. And the market is increasingly being used to hedge or to speculate. And we still have a long way to go. Thank you so much, sir, for bringing this interesting topic before us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arpita, and good luck to all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.